could go for some Halloween charcuterie. I think I'll get to that.
I love taking life's common problems and finding the most surprising solutions. You might be wondering how much it costs to fix your stand mixer. Well, only 10 cents. These aren't just hacks, they're helpful tips that you can use every day.
Oh, way better.
Today on Problem Solved, we're celebrating everything autumn. This really is my favorite time of year. Everything smells so good. I'm gonna show you how to trick. We've got the perfect color, and it tastes good. Treat.
Who needs Willy Wonka when you can make your own chocolate factory?
And haunt like a pro.
You hear something?
So come on, this is gonna be spooktacular. Fall is my favorite time of the year. The leaves change, the temperature drops, all the cozy sweaters come out, and best of all, it's time for everything pumpkin. Traditionally baked into pies, this ingredient is so good in so many other ways. Whether you want something sweet or savory, you can embrace the flavors of fall with some surprisingly unique recipes. Here's how to make a delicious pumpkin ice cream without the need for an ice cream maker. First, we've got to mix up our heavy cream. This will take a few minutes. We're looking for stiff peaks. Perfect. Your whipped cream should look like this, but make sure not to over whip it. Fold in the condensed milk, just a little bit at a time. We're doing this a little bit at a time so we don't deflate that fluffy whipped cream. The condensed milk is gonna add a ton of creaminess and extra sweetness. Now it's time for the star of our show, pumpkin. Look at that pretty color. A touch of vanilla, pinch of salt, a splash of maple syrup, that's for Buddy the Elf, and a dash of pumpkin pie spice. Give that a mix and make sure everything is well incorporated. Oh my gosh, this smells like heaven. Oh yeah. That is so good. I'm gonna pour this into a lined pan. I'm gonna cover this up. And that goes right into the freezer. Perfect. The longer you let this sit, the firmer it'll get, but I can't wait any longer. This came out perfect and no need for an ice cream maker. I could eat this all fall long. Yum. Of course you can buy pumpkin pie spice, but this is just a blend of ingredients you probably already have in your spice cabinet. Here is everything you need to make your own pumpkin pie spice. You can probably guess, but the main ingredient is gonna be cinnamon. For my blend, I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I'm sure you have plenty of cinnamon at home. Next is 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. And if you've never seen it, this is whole nutmeg. Nutmeg is so popular in so many fall recipes. Now 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. Ginger is warm and a little spicy, but not too spicy. It'll be absolutely perfect in here. Next is 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. I love the color, look at that. And finally, 1 teaspoon of allspice. This really rounds out the flavor. Just give that a mix all together. That smells like a trip to grandma's house, fall leaves. The best part about making your own is you control the ratio of flavors. And you can make a small amount of pumpkin spice without the need to buy a whole jar. I'm gonna show you how to make a delicious fall harvest mac and cheese. What's great is this is a 1-pot recipe, no straining needed. When I'm making mac and cheese, I love to use a pasta with a fun shape. That goes into my 1 pot. Next is 3 cups of whole milk or half and half, 2 tablespoons of butter. I love garlic in my mac and cheese. Just gonna grate that in. And for fall flavor, about 1 cup of pure pumpkin. I'm gonna give that a quick stir, a pinch of salt and pepper. Now let's bring this to a simmer. While that's cooking, I'm gonna grate my cheese. This is a sharp cheddar. I'm also using Gruyere, which is one of my favorite cheeses. This cheese is nutty and rich. It's gonna be so perfect with that pumpkin. Give that a little stir, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Take it off the stove as soon as that pasta is tender and soaked up most of the liquid. For cream sauces, I always grate in a little fresh nutmeg, trust me. Next, about 1 cup of sharp cheddar and about 1 cup of that Gruyere. Get that cheese melted into everything and it's ready. Oh, this is the thickest, creamiest mac and cheese. Let's dig in. Now that summer is over and those swimsuits are packed away, can we indulge our sweet tooth a little? There are so many candies that we know and love, but have you ever considered trying to make your own? Well, it's easier than you think. Skip the store and make this season even more special with one-of-a-kind candy recipes. The chef jacket is back on and I'm taking you to the candy shop. This is all it takes to make your own hard candy at home. Starting with our water, sugar, and top it off with corn syrup. As an alternative, if you don't want to use light corn syrup, just add a little bit of cream of tartar. Next, get this on some medium-high heat. Now you don't need to stir it, just let it melt and do its thing. But keep an eye on it. The secret to candy making is a thermometer because it requires precise heat. For hard candy, we're looking for the hard crack stage, which is about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Just make sure that thermometer is not touching the bottom of the pan or use an instant read thermometer. I'll need a brush and a little bit of water. Brush down any sugar that's forming on the edge of the pan. We're getting close to that 300 degrees. Oh, there it is. Taking it right off. To flavor our lollipops, you can use any extract you like. Now we can add our extract and food color. Get that mixed in. I've got a popsicle mold that I'm just gonna lightly spray, add in some lollipop sticks, and we're just gonna fill up our molds. I'm gonna set this aside and let it cool completely. And if you don't have a candy mold, you can try this. I have a tray of powdered sugar. You can also use brown sugar or flour. Press a lollipop shape right into that powdered sugar. Put in your lollipop stick. And silicone tools are gonna be best when working with high temperatures. These came out so good. You only need a few ingredients to take this and turn it into this. Let's start these gummies by dissolving some gelatin in water. You wanna give that a good mix so there's no clumps. We're gonna mix in our own flavor, so make sure to use unflavored gelatin. All right, mixing the rest of our ingredients, some sugar, and we're gonna just mix everything together over medium heat until it's all dissolved and combined. Now that everything's dissolved, we can infuse it with our favorite flavor and food color. Silicone molds come in so many varieties. We're gonna get started with the traditional gummy bear shape. All that's left is to fill the molds with the gummy mixture. Let these sit, chill, and firm up. As an alternative, use agar-agar powder instead of gelatin. This is plant-based and vegan, so it's a great substitution to that normal gelatin. Instead of extracts, you can make your own flavor concentrate by boiling your favorite juice into a thick syrup like this. These little robots are gonna be so cute. When it comes to making homemade gummies, the options are about endless. These pop right out of the molds, and they came out so good. The agar-agar gummies will have a slightly different texture, but they're full of natural ingredients. Gummies are a homemade candy that I'm sure you're gonna wanna make over and over again. Who needs Willy Wonka when you can make your own chocolate factory? For these homemade chocolate bars, I'm gonna start by chopping up some chocolate and getting it melted. This is gonna melt best if it's all finely chopped, no big chunks. All we need to get this melted is a microwave. 20 seconds at a time, giving a little stir in between. I lined a pan with parchment paper to make things easy. Perfectly melted. Our first layer is gonna be chocolate. Spread that around to every corner. Let this sit and firm up. These candy bars are gonna have caramel and peanut butter in them, but you can use anything you want. Cereal, nuts, any nut butters that you want. The sky's the limit, really. This is gonna have peanuts for extra crunch. This is looking so good. What would you put in yours? This just needs to firm up so we can cut it up and finish our chocolate bars. The beauty is that these don't have to be perfect because we're gonna cover them in more chocolate. I have some more melted chocolate. Now you can dunk these, but I like to drizzle it on top. Just need to let this chocolate harden, and then we're ready. Now that that chocolate has solidified, we have our own homemade candy bars. It's the most wonderful time for some fear. Now enough of those treats, it's time for some tricks. But these tricks are not just for kids. You can get really creative with some good special effects. These ghastly ideas are sure to scare even the bravest souls. Scare season is here. Ah! This way for some horrifying fun. Good special effects create the best scares. Oh gosh! Sights and sounds, it's about creating the perfect atmosphere. Who's hungry for blood? For our edible blood, we're gonna start with corn syrup. Corn syrup will give us that realistic blood viscosity and thickness. Oh, that's thick. Yeah. To make this look like blood, we need red food coloring. Start off with a few drops. You can always add more. Oh yeah, that looks great. For the true blood hue, add a few drops of blue. This will give you that dark, rich blood color. That's more like it. The other secret of movie quality fake blood is cocoa powder or chocolate syrup. Just a little bit of cocoa powder will help with color and texture. Count Chocula would be proud. Give everything a good mix and we have our blood. All right, I think we've got the perfect color. And it tastes good. Washable fake blood starts with laundry detergent. Look in the craft section for washable finger paint. A little red. Give that washable finger paint a little mix. For the right color, just a touch of blue. Cornstarch is going to give us the right texture and consistency. This washable fake blood is perfect for costumes and sets. Just call me Dexter. You have everything you need to make realistic blood at home. Nothing is scarier than practical effects. One of the most terrifying props you can use is a real chainsaw. This is the secret of pros from haunted houses and movies. Using real tools, but in a safe way. You'll need a real chainsaw, and it's as simple as removing the blade. Follow instructions for the particular model to remove the chain. Once the chain's removed, you have a safe, authentic prop. You can even distress the chainsaw for a real horror look. This is a real gas-powered tool, so make sure you know how to properly operate it. For the spookiest atmosphere, you need a fog machine. This is how to make your own fog juice. Of course, you can purchase solution, but making your own takes 2 ingredients. The solution is mostly distilled water and just a touch of vegetable glycerin. Make sure it's non-toxic, food-grade glycerin. By mixing your own, you can control the density of the fog. More glycerin will give you a thicker fog, and less glycerin will give you a light haze. That's all you need, 2 cheap ingredients that are easy to find. Use fog the next time you want a spooky atmosphere. This season, don't just transform your space, transform your face. Halloween is the perfect time to dress up, play pretend, and reveal a little bit of your dark side. It can be a bit theatrical, but isn't that the best part of this holiday? Before you get started with your makeup, you want to prepare your canvas. To a clean face, I'm going to apply a topical antiperspirant. A little dab will do you, and this will help prevent oil and sweat buildup. Every creepy character has a lot of drama to their face, so we're going to create that with dimension using highlights and shadows. I'm using a shade lighter than my skin to create highlights. These highlights are going to go on the parts of your face where light would naturally hit. For the shadows, I'm going to use a shade darker than my skin. I'm going to start with the cheekbones. And I'm applying the makeup where light would naturally create shadows. I'm using some black to really play up the drama here. This is going to go in the eyes, really accentuating the brow. This will make deep pockets right in the inside socket of your eye. Play around with the shape of your brows. I'm transforming into a creature after all, right? To accentuate wrinkles, I'm going to scrunch up my face and just darken the wrinkles that already exist. Then add some more highlights around those wrinkles to make them pop. To complement that really awesome costume, good quality makeup is going to go a long way to give you the best results. Trying to get into character here. A really great idea is to do a trial the week before you need your makeup for a costume. That way you can dial in the look, get used to it, so you're not stressed out the night of. Spirit gum is going to be that go-to adhesive used in theatrical makeup. Makeup can only go so far. For a full 3D look, add some texture. Is it a full moon tonight? I think so. With spirit gum and some fake hair, you can create any facial hair look to really add some dimension and texture to your overall makeup look. Choose a shade that either matches your natural hair color or a wig. Don't just stop at your face. Add makeup and texture anywhere that makes sense for your character. When the night's over and it's time to get rid of all that adhesive, make sure to use a spirit gum remover. For makeup, try coconut oil. It can help as a remover. Hair, makeup, and all the details are going to make all the difference when getting into character for your costume. Oh. Trick or treat, the ghosts and goblins have come out to play. It's time to put everything we've learned to the test, combining candy and costume and special effects to entertain the entire neighborhood. After all, it's only one night, so let's make the ghost of it. I'm putting together a convincing fire effect to shock the neighborhood. You can assemble this DIY fire effect against any window. I just used a tension rod. I'm also using a white sheet to reflect the light, but we'll get there in a little bit. I think this is gonna look so cool. I saw this online and couldn't wait to try it. Now that the curtain is set, I'm just gonna get everything in place. Now it's time for the magic that makes this illusion come to life. I'm gonna have my fan propped up on some boxes. You can use 2x4s, whatever you have laying around. Working on getting my lights positioned here. Got a yellow LED. Let there be light. Just getting my other light into position. This is a red one. Give that authentic fire color. Red light, go. That's pretty much it. Now we have to get everything into place. I like to use LEDs. They won't get hot for this effect. All right, seal everything up. We need a little more slack so that the fan can blow the sheet around. That's how you get the effect. I have all this attached to one power strip so everything goes on and off with one switch. There we go. That's what we want. The wind to give us some movement with the light reflecting, and then from outside at night, it'll look like real fire. For this DIY project, I'm making a fog chiller to produce an extra spooky effect. I have all my supplies. Everything was easy to find at a local hardware store. Tracing a cutout where all the fog is gonna enter the chiller. All right, let's see how I did. Put that connection on and voila. This side is done, so we have our fog machine. That's gonna pass through our opening, which is gonna go through our chamber to cool the fog. I have this duct to act as our chimney. The fog is gonna pass through this, cascade over all of our ice, and exit the other side. So let's work on that hole. And to wrap things up, I'm gonna insulate the top seal of our fog chiller. This way none of the fog will escape when we're running our machine. Get creative when you're doing projects like that. See what's around you and see what'll work for the materials you can find. We're all built. I don't have any ice in here yet, but I'm just gonna test for leaks. Fog machine's all warmed up. Ooh, okay, we got a lot of leaks. Oh, but it's coming out the front, just how we want. Woo! We're making a fog chiller, so this doesn't happen. I sealed up some leaks with some duct tape. Now it's time for the real thing. I'm gonna add the ice and really test this thing out. Moment of truth. Hit the red button. We got a good seal, not many leaks. So that's what the fog chiller does. Makes the fog a little bit more dense, so it hangs low. We've got smoke, we've got fire. This here is gonna be lit. You won't believe how easy it is to make this DIY candy cauldron. Mwah ha 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 ha. Not scary. This comes together so quickly, you just need some logs and an LED light strip for the base. Flick that on, and pick our color. Ooh, that looks good. To finish off our fire base, we just need some tissue paper, cover up those lights, give the illusion of fire. I love that glow. Now for our cauldron, I cut a little hole so I can put our cords through. On the inside of that cauldron, I just have a strip of LED lights. These are so inexpensive and you can find these everywhere. This is gonna give us that creepy glow inside of our cauldron. I like green. We're making a green potion today. This is so genius for the smoke, an oil diffuser. This was like 10 bucks. And you can fill it with a scent. Some LED lights and oil diffuser are the secret ingredients to this witch's brew. I'm gonna use this cauldron to hand out candy, so let's fill it up. Dare to stick your hand to my cauldron? Ha ha ha! Trick or treat! To get a really eerie atmosphere, it's not about doing the most, it's about combining simple elements that work together. Ooh, spooky season is here. The simplest thing you can do is just add lighting. Choose a waterproof LED light. They're color changing and they're gonna be perfect to set any mood.
And you can strategically hide them behind other elements. Choose lighting and props that fit a particular theme, so that way your entire yard is cohesive. Good work, Mr. Bones. This yard is actually looking pretty good. Something as simple as a fog machine or DIY special effects can really bring a wow factor, and your neighborhood is going to be talking about your yard. Everybody's going to want to trick or treat here. When those trick-or-treaters come by, don't just hand them candy out of a plain old bucket. Do something fun and get creative. Take 2 handfuls. I don't think anybody's home. Thanks for leaving out candy. Nice house. I'm setting up a few speakers to pump in some scary vibes. You hear something? Set an atmosphere with some spooky sound effects, or you can make it a party with a Halloween playlist. Portable Bluetooth speaker works perfect for triggering scares from nearby. Who's that? The transformation of fall is such a wonderful season. It's always fun to let my inner child out and gear up for the holidays. I think this year's been one of the best, but I'm already looking forward to what I'm gonna do next year. But in the meantime, go ahead and follow Problem Solved on Snapchat and TikTok for more great solutions you can use every day of the week. Until next time, problem solvers, see ya.